This is the plaintiff, Louis Guglielmo. He says the tenant above him had a flood in his apartment and it caused extensive damage to his condo, which is directly under him. The defendant's being a royal pain in the you-know-what because he's refusing to pay for the damages he caused. He's tired of dealing with this character who's trying to weasel out of his responsibilities, so he's taking him to court today and seeking the $1,575 he's owed. This is the defendant, Thomas L. Well. He says the damage the plaintiff is claiming is grossly over-exaggerated, and the opportunist is seeking a huge payday for a tiny little leak that caused minimal damage. Besides, the flood wasn't even caused by him. There was a valve inside the wall that failed. It dripped a little. Now the plaintiff's trying to make a federal case out of it. Some people. He's accused of flooding out a neighbor. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $400 for lost wages.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says his upstairs neighbor in his condo had a water leak and it flooded his apartment. But the defendant says the plaintiff grossly inflated the damage. It's the case of taking a bad leak.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Louis Guglielmo, you are suing Thomas Elwell for $1,575, the cost of ceiling repair and exhaust fan replacement in a condo that you own that's underneath the condo that he owns, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what happened?
On Monday, April 17th of 2017, my tenant heard water running. When she was going through the rooms looking, when she went into the bathroom, there was water pouring through the exhaust fan.
Pouring through? Like
Pouring through.
Outpouring? Wow.
So she ran to get some towels. She threw some towels down to get a bucket. She yelled across to the neighbor across, who went and got the tenant that was upstairs. In the meantime, the tenant across also called the property management to make them aware of what was going on.
Okay.
Later that evening, which turned out to be much later, the plumber didn't show up till almost midnight. Came, looked at everything, went upstairs, and he's saying that it was the overflow pipe was leaking in the tub above the
Behind
unit
the wall?
Behind the wall.
Do you live there?
No, I
You rent it out also? Okay. Anyway, so go ahead.
Once the plumber then came back, said that everything was fixed, it was fine. 2 days later, on Wednesday, the 19th of April, she hears dripping. When she goes into the bathroom, she sees that the water is dripping over the tub, and then the ceiling collapsed over the section of the tub.
Okay. Do you have pictures of that?
I do.
May I see those?
There's also pictures here showing the water stains going across.
And now, according to you, you had just renovated that bathroom.
Yes.
Like how much earlier had you renovated the bathroom?
It was only maybe 4 years ago.
Okay, well, that's not just. But anyway, so this looks to be cut. So is this once the plumber got in there to do stuff, or is that how it looked when it
No,
caved?
that's actually the way it broke off.
So that is the way it broke off. Okay. And so what happened? Folks called the plumber?
Called the plumber, came back, and now he was saying that it was the return pipe that wasn't working. He would have to come back the next day and replace the pipe through the ceiling.
All right. And did he fix it from
underneath.
From underneath, from your place. So he cut the hole bigger. And so what ends up happening after that?
So now, after that, I have to have the ceiling and the exhaust fan. Because so much water had poured through the exhaust fan, I was afraid of electrical fire.
Sure.
So I had gone in there and disconnected the exhaust fan. Meantime, I called my contractor, who had done work for me before, to come over, give me an estimate. He happened to be available.
You took care of the work, like the work got done.
The work got done.
Okay. How much did you pay?
$1,575.
Do you have proof that you paid that?
Yes, I have a copy of a canceled check.
Okay, which shows that the person you paid it to put it in their bank and cashed it, and this actually cost you the $1,575 you're talking about.
Yes.
Do you have the estimate from the contract?
Yes, I do.
Okay. At some point before you got it taken care of, you're a good landlord because you just didn't want her living like, was she pressing you? Or
No,
you just
no,
thought it was
I just-
inappropriate, you wouldn't want to live that
No,
way?
right.
All right. So did you give this owner, the defendant, a chance to look at it and, and pay?
Yes, I called him and set up an appointment for him to come. I told him what the estimate was to come and look at it. What he ended up doing while I was at work was he went on his own, knocked on my tenant's door, and persuaded her to let him in to go see the damage.
Okay.
In the meantime, he's telling her that this is not a $1,500 job, this is only a $500 job. I could do it myself.
All right, so rather than patch the hole, your person ripped the whole ceiling out and put in a new piece of drywall, right?
Yes, actually, it was a double ceiling.
And can I see the finished job?
I did not bring that picture
Why
with
not?
me, I'm sorry.
Doesn't it make like
I
common,
know.
like it's common sense to see?
Yes.
Or did you smooth it out so it's no longer this popcorny kind
it's
of
no more
finish?
popcorn.
Because no one wants that, right?
No.
All right, let me hear from you.
On Tuesday, April 18th, I received a call from the plumber that the condo association hired to fix the water problem below. He told me he would have to enter from below my apartment and be working behind my tub. I said, fine. Friday night, I get a message. I owe $1,775. I have the phone message saying that, and it's an emergency. His tenant doesn't feel comfortable taking showers in there, and we have to get it done right away. He needs the check.
Right.
So I'm thinking $1,775. Now, since he didn't allow me the time to go in and see the damage with his contractor, I went over, knocked on the door. Patricia let me in, and there was a 1 by 1.5 feet sheetrock out of the corner of the bathroom. Yes.
Yeah.
And a 4 foot by 2.5 foot piece of sheetrock was damaged to the joint. You can see it. Okay, so I have pictures of the ceiling fan where the grate was off. There's no water damage. I plugged the ceiling fan in and it worked fine. The ceiling fans are 35 years old. I replaced mine last summer.
Was the ceiling fan the original ceiling fan?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I replaced it. The ceiling fan cost $15, and I put it in myself in 5 minutes. He, on his contractor bill, wants $250 for the ceiling fan. Okay, so after that, I went over and showed a friend of mine, a contractor, the pictures, and he wrote me up an estimate for $300 to replace the damaged piece of sheetrock, tape it, make it match, and paint it, the whole ceiling.
Do you have insurance? Like, why isn't insurance covering this and you're not worrying
I
about
have a note from my insurance saying that it's not my
not covered?
No, it's not covered because I didn't pay after every year not using it. But also, it's not my responsibility.
Yeah, it's hard to get coverage when you're not paying premiums.
But that it's not my responsibility because in the bylaws of the condo association, section 10, it says that if it's not my negligence, then it's not my responsibility.
Okay, so can the defendant say, look, I want to fix the damage? Or does the plaintiff have a right to have the damage fixed anywhere that the plaintiff can reasonably get it?
I think that they should be able to buy get a person to do it.
So the plaintiff can use any person. Is that right?
I think, yeah, you should be able to use who you want, who you think you can trust to fix what's been damaged.
Anybody think the defendant has a right to fix it, even if the plaintiff doesn't want the defendant in the apartment? Anybody? Okay, smart people going inside the courtroom.
Both of you show me your dueling bylaws.
They're the same one.
Oh, you don't know what he's going to show
Same
me.
bylaw.
Be so presumptuous. Now, this is
What's the plaintiffs?
plaintiffs and defendants. Yep, they are showing me the exact same thing. Maintenance and repair. All maintenance of and repairs to any unit, structural or non-structural, ordinary or extraordinary, shall be made by the owner of such unit. All maintenance of and repairs to any unit is made by the owner, other than that which is due to the negligence, misuse, or neglect of another unit.
If I were Superman and could see through a tub, it would be my
Do
negligence.
you really think you got to pipe in right now? Because all it can do is annoy me.
All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, take a hint. You hear what I'm saying,
All
right?
right.
It's going good for you, right? You want to annoy me?
No.
Right.
But it does say all maintenance repairs to the common elements.
The common elements are something else. That's not, that's the
you're right.
condo people and the hallways and all that stuff. May I see the plumber's bills that say what it is that exactly was wrong?
The plumber bill should have been with him.
The condo association paid for the
So
plumber.
nobody knows what the plumber said was the problem, or do you agree on what the plumber says was the problem, that your return was?
Yeah,
I mean,
his
statement
tenant,
from-
Patricia, stated that it was the backflow valve behind the tub. That's what the plumber told me.
Basically, just, I'm not seeing if it's underneath the tub and it's a return, it's in the walls and it's, I just, I'm having trouble seeing how it's something that unit is responsible for. I think this is gonna be something that you yourself are gonna have to be responsible for based on that bylaw. You have a counterclaim against them for $400 for what? Coming to court and wasting your time?
I had to shovel.
You can't be serious.
I had to shovel three
I
inches of snow.
don't care what you shoveled. How about what I got to shovel in here?
Plus, I'm missing work today.
On your counterclaim, 0. That's the price we pay for living in a civilized society, folks. Access to the courts. Okay? That's what we've got. No, people, if you were a brain surgeon and you missed surgery today, I wouldn't be ordering you to pay you $20,000 either. All right. I think he's right. I think he's right based on reading that bylaw, that unless it's misuse or negligence on him or his tenant's part, it's just one of those things. Sometimes bad things happen to good people, and this is one of them. So I'm sorry that you ended up having to absorb that. I guess that's why we should all have, insurance, and I don't know whether insurance will cover it, not cover it. So based on what I'm looking at, it looks to me like this is something that you're going to have to absorb, and on your lawsuit against him, 0, and on his lawsuit against you, 0. Okay, that's my verdict, folks. Good luck.
Well, it's a 0-0 tie here in the People's Court. Mr. Guglielmo, how do you feel? You heard the judge thinking through her decision, and she gave it a lot of thought.
And she did. And I do have to see her point that, it is something that's behind the wall
Yep.
or under the tub. It's,
Can't be responsible, can't be
right.
blamed anyway, because you
But
didn't see it.
at least the damage is all fixed.
That's the important thing.
Right.
Okay, and you just had to eat it, as she said. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry about that. I think you learned something. Here comes Mr. Elwell. Sir, how do you feel about this? I'm sure you're in agreement with the judge?
Very happy, yes.
All right, well, look, your argument prevailed.
I love
okay,
it.
good
I love
enough.
it. Thank
you
you.
love it. I'm sure you do. All right. Harvey, interesting case. What do you think?
Okay, you should know this. You have an absolute right to have the damage fixed by anybody you want as long as the price is reasonable. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.